to go back again, because this is like, if you're looking for a counselor to help you, it's not a matter of like going to the yellow pages. Although this is a good time to remind my audience, at the end, my closing credits, I will be running a bunch of phone numbers for different counseling services, including HFR, which Dr. Mari is affiliated with. So pay attention and have your pencil and paper ready. You go to one counselor and you're not relieved. You go to two, you're not relieved. You go to three, at this point you're probably in agony and ready to explode.
Yes.
As a patient, what do you have to ask in order to know this is the right counselor for me?
Well, I think one of the things that's critical is just to take what you said, is to believe that if you're feeling that the healing is not going on, that it's true, it's not. And there's no thing that says that you have to continue with a person you do not believe or feel is really healing you. And so it's important then to start to say, I have the right to do this, and I'm going to search out, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to use my psychological strength to go out there and find the right person, even if I have to go through 4 or 5 people. I want a person who's going to touch my heart, which has been broken, which is aching after an abortion and needs to be made whole.
Okay, so perseverance is obviously the answer here, big time. Just keep on looking. It's out there. Again, pay attention to those 800 numbers I have posted. Same thing as we discussed counselors. What about clergy? Same situation.
Yes.
Probably in some cases even more agonizing.
Yes.
How does one deal with that? How does one deal with possible, at the very least, brush off?
Yes, I think this is the importance then of trying to, at least from the beginning, get the right numbers of the right people who are known, and other women perhaps that you've spoken to that have had abortions and that have found effective clergymen in terms of their proper rapport and stance, to really look at what other people have found and then know there are certain people that are just better in terms of being healing presences.
Okay. I've just remembered I have a website posted for Priests for Life on my credits. Take it down. It is priceless resource of information in there. Go for it. It will help you find counselors and anything you need to get you through the situation. Talk to me, how do you handle your clients when they come to you?
I think the first thing, the first contact is the most important. The one thing that they want to hear, if they're actually admitting to you on, let's say, your first phone call, that I'm coming here because of my abortion. Once you hear that, it immediately should send the message to the counselor that this woman is aching, she's hurting, she's strong, she has the courage to admit that she needs help. Be compassionate. Okay.
Can you give me a couple of more examples, case histories?
Okay.
Basically, we've covered the working through. Now let's take me through the working through to the healing.
Okay. I think once that initial bond is established where the woman who's been hurt recognizes that she can trust the counselor, and trust is critical, that she begin to start to tell her story to the counselor, and that the counselor is able to listen and be present in a healing way to that person. So that the first thing she wants to do is really get to tell someone this secret that she's been harboring for so long. And that's really the first step, is to actually start to tell whatever parts of the story she's comfortable to tell, what she's ready to tell. And for the counselor to begin to just let her know that there's a loving presence there, there's a loving God there, and that whatever you say, I'm not going to love you any less as a person. I'm just going to be here in the pain, in the suffering.
Okay, just to basically hear the whole story. It has to be very hard for a woman to come to you, and then, like, I'm sure it's a very slow process to, as she starts talking. Must be very liberating for her once she starts releasing it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, we know about the non-functioning bad job performance or great job performance. performance healing, how does one know they're healed? Or in a sense, like, what do we need to know about the healing process?
Yeah, I think some of the things that happen are actually connected to what I initially said were the complications. If a woman who's had an abortion starts to find that there's more joy in her life, we know that she's beginning the path to healing. If she finds that she's beginning to get closer to people again and not be so afraid to love and be loved in return, it's another good sign. She's getting closer and not isolating herself and being so lonely. If a woman is finding herself maybe going to church for the first time after having avoided church and the idea of Bible and anything related to religious practices, she'll actually begin to find that she's beginning to think about praying and being connected to God.
Right, okay. It's must be very liberating to know that. Advice.
Well, I think advice, one of the most important things is not to hide the abortion experience, but to actually begin to realize that you're not going crazy, that the abortion is something that's hurting you, that you don't have to let yourself be driven into these psychological symptoms and these really physical suffering. Get help from medical doctors, get help from the right counselors, and seek the path of healing.